Welcome back to Tech Yes City, and right here on the desk we've got AMD's new Athlon 200GE processor. It's 2 Zen cores, 4 threads. It's locked at 3.2 gigahertz as well. But the thing about this CPU is it comes in at a price point of $55 or in Australia currently 85 AUD. So it kind of sits here to take that throne, or at least take that spot of the Intel's G4560, which was a super budget choice back in early 2017. However, one thing I will say about the G4560, it was released at a time when DDR4 memory prices were pretty cheap, and graphics cards like RX 470s and GTX 1063GB models were very cheap. So you could build yourself a brand new PC that had such good price performance. Nowadays, the DDR4 memory is still pretty expensive, but we also have other options here as well, like the Ryzen 3 2200G. This includes a bigger cooler. It also has a bigger graphics portion of Vega on board, which is 8 compute units versus 3 on this. So if anything, this is sort of like a G4560 replacement. However, what need is there in the market, you're probably wondering? Well, straight out of the box, before we even do any testing, we've got 35 watts TDP on this little thing here. So if anything, it could make for a great office PC CPU, but also on that note, it could make for a great placeholder as well if you want to get on AMD's fantastic motherboard lineup AM4 that has, in my opinion, great future proofing in that you can update the BIOS and then step it up to something like even a 7nm in 2019. So after running various tests on the 200G versus the Ryzen 2200G versus the G4560, we're now at conclusion time, which is a little bit of a weird one because I knew straight away after at least running the first game what this CPU was going to be about. And in my opinion, it's about two different things. And that is, if you're after a low power consumption, low noise CPU solution that's actually really good for a budget oriented user, then this CPU is definitely going to be for you. The power consumption, even when running Far Cry 5, for example, was at 60 watts. So that's full load. That's the max you can expect out of this thing. The other person that this APU would be for someone who's looking for a placeholder until they can get, say, a 2700X or a better graphics card. Because the graphics card performance of this thing in titles like Dota 2 and CSGO, and if that's all you play, then this might be perfect for you, it was pretty good. 1080p was playable on low settings on both these titles. And this is the big difference between this CPU and the G4560. That wasn't playable at 1080p on low settings on either of these games, to the point where you'd have to drop it down to 720p. The Athlon 200GE actually handled these two titles over 60 FPS with decent 1 and 0.1% lows, and I could even get some frags in CSGO. So it was pretty decent. Of course, I'm putting the Ryzen 2200G here on the table because I feel like if you're buying this, especially for the graphics, then definitely spend a little bit extra and go for this. You do get a bigger cooler, you do get overclock ability and higher memory limits. The Athlon 200G is capped at 3.2 gigahertz, and even in the BIOS, I was trying to change the multiplier around and it looked like it locked in. I was like, damn, have I got some secret success that other reviewers haven't got? And then when I got into Windows, I realized no. You're locked at 2667 megahertz on the memory, but you can change the timings to whatever you want. And then on the CPU for both those cores, you're locked at 3.2 gigahertz, which does extend to 4 threads. The included cooler did a phenomenal job of handling this little CPU. Keep in mind the TDP is very low and the temperatures only went up to 54 degrees with a decibel level of 23 decibels. It was super quiet, and that noise didn't seem to change at all, even if you stepped it down to idle temperatures, which went down as low as 33 degrees, and the noise stayed the same. So it looks to me like this fan is just carrying on at one speed. If it's not, then it is really, really quiet. But when all said and done, when it comes to the Athlon 200GE, it's a real budget-orientated choice that I do feel that if you're just buying it for the 2 cores and 4 threads, then honestly, it's too late. I mean, that phase already happened at the start of 2017 with the G4560. But if you're getting something that you want for a low power consuming office PC, or if you want something as a placeholder in between now and getting a 2700X, for example, and a good graphics card, then this is definitely going to be a decent placeholder for the time being. But if you're going for the 2 cores and 4 threads on its own with just that graphics on the Vega 3 graphics with the 3 compute units, then this here is a much better choice even for the extra $45, because you're getting 4 cores, 4 threads, they're overclockable, and those numbers will not just come through in Cinebench, it'll also come through in games when you're using a better graphics card, and then you've also got a bigger cooler as well. So everything to go for with the 2200G, and even then if you wanted to go on the Intel side of things, Core i3-8100, as I showed in my previous comparison, and I'll put the link up here if you want to check that out. And to quickly wrap things up with the Athlon 200G, great little office CPU or a placeholder CPU, but also I did test out some 4K YouTube videos, and this handled it absolutely fine. So I'll probably do 4K Netflix as well. A little bit disappointed that they've locked down the overclocking on both the CPU cores and the memory, but I guess thoughts behind that is they probably want you to couple it with an A320 and also not over exceed this little included cooler here, which will get overloaded pretty quickly if you put more heat out of this CPU. Anyway, let me know what you think of the 200G in the comment section below. Do you think it's a nice little CPU for the money, or do you think it's too little too late? Love reading your thoughts and opinions as always, and I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye. But that's about it with the recommendations. Nice little CPU, but I think it's coming in a little bit too late if you're just buying it for the CPU portion. If you're buying it for an office PC or a placeholder, great little CPU, especially for 55 bucks. And well, that's all we got to get on with it. I mean, maybe there's some other things I missed. So it looks to me like this fan is just going in at 1 speed, and that is Charlie Sheen. If this is in shot, we might as well just give it a little. Look, I know it's new, but it doesn't matter. I got issues, man. Check this out. This is the hustler's process, baby. Buy it, clean it, build it, flip it. That's the Tech Yes process, baby. Check out the merch. Links in the description below.